Hi, Professor. Thank you for allowing me to take a few minutes to demo my writing lab to you. So, when you first come in, you'll see this course homepage. And so when students come in, they'll just be able to look directly at this calendar, and they'll be able to see what assignments that you've assigned to what day. And they can actually just click on that day or scroll over that day, and they'll be able to see what assignments that are due. Or if they are going to work, if you send them through the learning path, they can just come right here and click directly on it, and it will bring them to the learning path manager toolbar. So the learning path is based around Newton's adaptive learning, so it's essentially like a one-on-one tutor. So the idea is that students will come in and they'll take this path builder, which is a pre-diagnostic, and once they complete this path builder, it will give them, will tell them what areas that they've mastered and what areas still need work. And if you allow Newton to stay on, it will actually tell them what topic or what activity that they should work on at that moment. So, after every activity that they complete, it will give them another activity to do based on how that they did on the previous activity. So they can either work on it that way, or they can work on it by the module. So after I took my pre-diagnostic test, it basically said that, okay, these are the 6 modules that I need to work on and that I have not mastered. So to show you what activities are in each module, I'm just going to click on it. So while the topics within each module are different, the activities that go along with each topic are the same. So, for example, for the parts of speech, phrases, and clauses, there's an overview, which is a text reading, and it kind of reinforces that subject or that topic. Then there's an animation, which is a short little video that, again, kind of is just reinforcing that topic in just a different way. Then these 2 recalls activities are pretty much taking that factual information and they're starting to practice it. And then the application activity is just taking it one step further and is actually getting them to apply it, so it's making sure that they understand it in its context. And then writing draft is them actually practicing it, so it's an activity that they'll actually need to go in and write. So and then there's the post-test, so it's pretty much another diagnostic for that topic. So you can just assign it to make sure, if you wanted to, just assign this one thing, and that will kind of show you whether or not the student has mastered that topic. So all of these 2 are automatically graded except for this writing draft, and everything that a student does in here that is machine graded and automatically graded, it all will directly flow to your grade book. So there's no extra work on your part, so you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, if I assign all these, I'm gonna have to go in and grade everything, because all these are automatically graded except for this write drafting. But as you'll notice, so every topic, so subjects and verbs, if I click on here, you'll notice that it has the same type of activity. So you'll see this through every topic and every module. And if a student still feels as if they're uncomfortable with this topic, they can always just click this extra practice button, and it will give them a list of additional activities that they can work on. And then at the end of the semester, they can always take this mastery check. So this is kind of their post-diagnostic test to see how far that they've come from the beginning of the semester. And then I don't know if you cover study skills or not, but this is essentially the same thing as writing, except it's pretty much about studying, so they can still, you can still assign this or have them do it on their own, or just leave it leave it there for them to do. So maybe they're not the best with, time management and using their time wisely with studying. So these are kind of just activities to get them, more or better prepared for their courses. The multimedia library, so this is a really good thing if you're going to be in class. So if you'll remember when I showed you the writing path, or those modules, they all had an overview, an animation, etc. So this is kind of just a quick way to access those animations or overviews or anything like that. So let's say if I wanted to go into basic grammar, and for all of them I wanted to look at an animation. So I can just click animation and select find now, and then this will show me all of the animations for that particular module. Another really cool thing that a lot of people aren't aware of is this Pearson Tutor Services. So the Pearson Tutor Services are for it's pretty much like a tutor service. So every student gets 3 submissions for free, and if they want, they can purchase more. But it's a source that your students can use to, let's say, if they have a paper due, or you want them to use, this service as for a place to submit their rough drafts before they hand in a paper to you. So all of our Pearson tutors are, either have their masters or their PhDs, or are actual professionals themselves and are doing this kind of on the side. So you don't have to worry about it being a reliable tutor or anything like that, or a college student. Like, these people are qualified, or tutors are qualified to really help your students. And you also don't have to worry about them kind of getting the right answer. It's really, they're there just to kind of give suggestions. So you don't have to worry about them coming back with their paper already fixed and all the work done for them. So it's really just a way for students, as if you were having your students hand in a rough draft to you, and you were kind of making little comments and things like that. So it's essentially the same thing, but this is available for every single student in my writing lab, and they get 3 free submissions, and we have a really quick turnaround time. It's about within 24 hours the student will usually receive their feedback. And then I'm just going to go under the course tools. So everything that has this little TV thing next to it with the line going through, that just means that it's not visible for students, and that you can only see this. So the few things I'm going to point out to you is this one course home manager. So this is a way for you to kind of manage what your students see when they first come in, and whether or not you want them to see their learning path, etc. The learning path manager, as you saw, there were multiple modules, and there was Newton. So this is where you'd go if you wanted to turn off Newton. Maybe you just wanted to assign specific assignments to them, or kind of work at a certain pace. So if you want to, you can turn off Newton right here. This is where you would also turn it off. So if you wanted students to work through the learning path, but you wanted to make sure that they weren't skipping over certain activities, you could make it so they can't move past a certain assignment if they haven't worked on the assignment before. So this is where you would really go to kind of tailor how you want your students to work through their learning path. And in order to get their, master their module, master their topic, we have it set to automatically 80%. So if you wanted to change it to maybe so it falls more in line with your students, so maybe 70 is kind of passing for you guys, you can change this to 70 all right here. And then I'm just going to go to the course settings. This is where you'd go to. So let's say you're splitting up, if you have 2 developmental writing courses, and you knew that you weren't going to cover specific modules, to make it kind of less confusing, you can come into under here, under the course settings, under the coverage, and click this edit button, and you can actually take out certain modules that you'll not be covering, just to kind of, you know, simplify it, maybe not make it as overwhelming. Or if you knew that you were going to go through it, you know, that specific module, but maybe we weren't going to cover certain topics, you can just deselect the topic and it'll take out all of those activities that are related to that topic. So really kind of just simplifying it, making it less confusing. And then under the Activity Assessments Manager, this is where you could go to pretty much assign your assignments. And it's actually pretty easy. You would just go under the Change Dates and Assign status, and you can select the wrong module. And if you want to, you can go by you know, module, or I'm just going to kind of narrow it down and go by topic. So I want to look at everything for subjects and verbs. And then let's say if I just want to look at the quizzes and tests that are available with it. So I can really kind of narrow it down this way and assign it. Or if I wanted to look at the homework, let's say if I wanted to assign all of these homeworks, I can just select this check mark. So what that's going to do is it's going to check mark all of the activities. And let's say I wanted to send everything but the writing draft. So I can uncheck mark that. And then I could easily just press assign up here, because what this is going to do is everything that's check mark, it's going to change it for everything here. So apply to selected. Let's make the due date October 31st. Make it due at 12 o'clock p.m. Apply to selected. So you see how it's all changing down here? And then I can just do update changes only. And what that's going to do is assign it to the assignment calendars. If you notice, I go up here to course home, and I now have a little triangle by the 31st to show me that I have activities due, and I can just go under here and see all the activities that are due that day. And if I want, I can just click it and it'll bring me straight to that activity. So thank you for allowing me to take a few minutes and show you my writing lab.